Okay, guys, we are talking Arizona elk draw strategy, application, all that good stuff. It's coming up, deadlines in early February, so be ready. It is time to draw. It's time to look at everything Arizona has this year. It's time to look at what you got as far as bonus points. It's time to look at your approach and what your goals are for 2024. So I hope all of you get lucky with that. Let's talk Unit 23. Unit 23 has been a trophy unit basically forever, given its location. It borders the White Mountain Apache Indian Reservation all along its eastern side, and it's just fantastic hunting. Not only that, it has the Mogollon Rim to the north, and then 22 obviously is the western border. But it's just fantastic elk hunting, specifically for trophy bulls. 23 doesn't have the biggest elk population. It doesn't have the herds that like 6A, 22, Unit 8, 9, and 10 have. It doesn't have these giant herds that you will run into. It does have very big elk herds, do not get me wrong, but the overall population is not as high as some of these other units in other parts of Arizona. It's a little bit more desolate country, especially as you move south. So the majority of the elk live in the northern half of 23, and 23 is divided in some hunts between 23 north and 23 south. But the majority of the elk live in the northern half of 23, or the allocated 23 north section. And like I said before, it's just really high trophy potential because the country is so nasty. Number one, in some of that wilderness stuff, the Mogollon Rim is nasty, the wilderness areas, the canyons, and also the border to its east, which is the White Mountain Apache Reservation, is very, very high trophy potential, obviously, that comes out of there. And bulls do come in and out of the White Mountain Apache Reservation, and they'll jump the fence and they'll live in 23 during the off season, which is the late rifle season. And they will also come and rut the cows in the early archery season as well. So let's jump right into early archery. Early archery in 23 is just, I mean, guys, it's up there with Unit 9, Unit 10, and 1 and 27. I mean, it's all in the same conversation. It is a top 5 unit in Arizona. It is a unit that you do have a chance at a 400-inch bull. It's a unit that you need a lot of bonus points no matter what tag you're trying to draw. Early archery, you're going to need points in the 20s. Late rifle, you're going to need around that 20-point range. And so you're going to have these high point, barriers, these high bonus point barriers for both non-resident and resident, but for a good reason, because the trophy potential is very, very high. That being said, it doesn't mean that it's very easy to hunt. It's actually not a very easy unit to hunt. 23s can be very technical, can be very difficult because of what I described earlier about the canyons, the wilderness areas, some of the boundaries and some of the limitations just from where these elk live and where they roam. It can be very, very steep and very sparse populations, or very limited populations that are just in certain spots. So they can be very pockety. I don't know how you want to describe that, but these elk can be very isolated in some of these canyons where you will see them in one area and will hop over the next ridge and there's nothing. So it can be difficult as far as that goes. It can be very isolated in little sections, maybe where there's water one year more, or the feed is better in one section, or it's just historically where they like to go, where they like to rut, where they like to hang out in the winter, if it's a big bull. So just be ready for that. It's a lot of guys get thrown off when they hear about 23 and how fantastic the elk hunting is. And then they show up and they're like, wow, this place is crazy rugged. I haven't found an elk in 5 days. This is not what I expected. So understand that 23 is extremely rugged. It's not like Unit 1 or 3A, 3C, or Unit 10 or Unit 9. It is very, very rugged. It's much like Unit 27 that has another high trophy potential unit that I'll talk about in the next video, but it's very, very difficult terrain, and it does offer technical problems when you're talking about killing elk in the backcountry, way away from any roads and without any water. So that being said, there's awesome elk hunting if you want to get after it. If you're physically fit and you are serious about killing a big bull, this is the unit to hold out for. And if you do get lucky and draw this is definitely something you want to throw your chips in. You want to talk to some guides. You want to just get some feelers out. It's definitely something that you're not going to regret investing into, no matter what that investment entails. If it's just a scouting package, or if it's a fully blown, guided outfitted type hunt. There's several good outfitters in 23 or that focus in 23. And so there's a lot of good options, guys, out there. Obviously, you can hit me up, but I'm not the only fish in the sea. There's a lot of good guys out there that can offer you good hunts. And I'm free to obviously offer that advice if you guys want to know who are some of my top people that I like to refer guys to if I'm busy or we're booked up, because that does happen in Arizona, because we have such a limited time to hunt. We don't have these long hunt periods. So a lot of times guys will get booked up just because that's how it works. And then whether it's me or somebody else, but we all work together and we help each other out and try to give everybody the best experience, keep the elk hunting reputation alive in Arizona, and keep the big pictures flowing of giant bulls. So that's how that works. I want to mention something that is very, very crucial to those of you who are physically fit, that like to hunt, that specifically like to bow hunt, and don't have a lot of points. Here is your winner, 23 North, late archery. This is not a secret anymore. This has been out for several years. It is a fantastic hunt to hunt giant bulls. It's late archery. There's not a whole lot of rut activity happening. You're hunting solo bulls or bachelored up bulls, or sometimes you get lucky and the bulls are still rutting around with cows, but they're not going to be as call sensitive and just overall rut activated like they would be in September. But this is a hunt, guys, where you get physical, get into it, hunt the nasty country, hot water, and you have a chance at shooting a giant bull. And you don't need 20 points to do it like you do in the early archery or late rifle. You can do it with 10 points or less. And obviously, it goes without saying, you can get lucky and draw this tag. But if you're a serious bow hunter and you want a trophy bull, and it doesn't have to be during the rut, 23 late archery is your ticket. They give about whatever, it's like 175 or 200 tags out. I know they've differed. They started lessening the tags in 23 on that late archery hunt, which is, I think it's a smart thing in my opinion. It's not that big of a deal to drop a unit 20 tags or so. Kind of keeps the elk a little bit healthier, especially in drought years. But it's an awesome opportunity, guys. Again, it's not an easy hunt. I would definitely think about doing a lot of e-scouting or scouting in person, or if your budget allows, talking to a guide or an outfitter that can help you put you in the right spot and just go at it hard with you. But it's an awesome opportunity to hunt big, giant Arizona bulls and do so without having 20 points. You can hunt this 2 or 3 times in the span that it would take you to draw an early archery hunt. So in my opinion, I'm still in that mindset. I'm still in that age and physical ability where I can go hunt hard. I can hunt the canyons. I can hunt difficult places off of roads. And I know I'm going to be okay. I know I'm going to maintain a level of safety, and I'm not going to be in a bad spot, just given the fact that I'll probably have friends with me or have communication devices that will allow me to stay safe. And I also have the physical ability to pack out elk in weird spots. So not everybody has that ability, and that's just the way it all works, and we all have to play to our advantages. So those of us that are willing to get after it and get in a backcountry kind of situations, willing to pack elk in very steep country, got to play to your advantage. So you try to attack these kind of hunts. And just talking late archery for a second, there are several units that offer late archery hunts like this. Unit 8 offers late archery hunt. Unit 27 offers late archery hunt. Obviously, I talked about 22 late archery. A lot of those units offer late archery hunts, but they don't give you 175 tags or 200 tags. They don't give you the draw odds like 23 does, which is really, really cool, because it gives you good draw odds, comparatively speaking, and also high trophy potential. So to me, it's the apex of both. They kind of converge on this late archery hunt in 23, and it becomes a perfect hunt for those guys that are willing to crank it out and get serious with it. So moving on to the late rifle hunt 23, fantastic unit. Again, like I said, it's going to take you around 20 points to draw as a non-resident. Resident's going to take you quite a bit of points as well, up in that region, 15 plus type points. You are looking for big bulls. You're looking for that 350 type bull in 23. Given the rain, given the precipitation, snow, whatever it is that year, obviously depends on how the antlers grow. But 23 is pretty much consistent in the fact that you can hunt big bulls no matter what, because there's so much naturally running water in the area, like Chevelon Creek, or like some of the creeks that I mentioned in the previous video in 22. There's lots of little creeks and drainages that have year-round water, so it keeps the elk healthy. That obviously doesn't mean all the grass and feed grows with protein rich nutrients that help the antlers, but it does keep the elk healthier and keeps them less stressed, which allows them to grow and stay in that maturity, stay mature and stay fresh, and also rut harder and do those kinds of things. So not unlike 27 or Unit 1, very similar situation. So if you guys draw a 23 late rifle tag, it's a tag to get excited about. It's a tag to, again, depending on your budget. Some of you may not have the budget for a guide outfit or anything like that. Well, if you don't have the budget for that, then hopefully you can make time to do it yourself. Scout, e-scout, do whatever you possibly can, because it's a hunt that doesn't come along very often. And it's a hunt that you want to dedicate your time to. So that's kind of what guys have, myself included. You either have time or money, and sometimes you have a little bit of both, where you can throw a couple $1,000s at something and also give your time to it. I know that I've been in that ballpark myself, just with hiring guides. For me personally, hunting in other states, I hire guides because I don't have the time to hunt, and just trying to bridge that gap of finding what works with your budget and all that kind of stuff. But I encourage you guys to invest in yourself, invest in the hunt, invest in your experience, because it won't come along very often. And that's what guys get caught up in, especially guys that draw with no points or 3 points. They often regret not going all in on these trophy type hunts in 23 or 1 or 27, when they sit back and 15 years later they draw another tag, and at that point you're 15 years older and you don't have maybe you don't have the time, maybe you have the budget, but maybe you don't have the physical ability like you did 15 to 20 years ago. So all these things are something to consider, guys. Whatever you do, just do it, and do it hard. Go at it, whether, like I said, whether it's e-scouting and scouting on your own, taking off work, going, taking weekends to go scouting, or it's hiring a guide or an outfitter and talking to a bunch of people and just seeing what the best option is that to fit your experience, fit your goals. But anyway, that's it, guys. I can ramble on about 23 forever, and I'm not going to do that. But I will say good luck. If you guys drew this tag, awesome. You can always hit me up in the description below. I've got links to what I do, guides, and as far as guiding, outfitting, drop camps, and scouting packages, all that kind of stuff, guys. So hit me up in the comments below if you have any questions. I try to get to them and try to help you guys out no matter what I can, even if you're not doing anything associated with what I do for a living. I just like to see guys be successful and get after it and have a good hunt, man. Arizona is an awesome place to hunt elk. So, all right, we'll talk to you guys next time. See you next video.